Next, we need to learn about the component will unmount. So we have this, and we can see when I say component will unmount like this one, then we can log, and I can say like app unmounted. See, let's try. So all we can see is constructor render mounted and once again render, because whenever we are updating the state, then the render reruns. So what if I comment this setting of the state? In that case, you will see that render is not running 2 times, it's running only 1 time. But when we are setting the state, then you can see after mounted, because in the mounted we are setting the state, so that's why we have a set state. But we cannot see the app unmounted because app is not unmounting. But we have this image one, so what we can do, we can actually create a new component. And to create a new component, I will create a directory called components. Inside this directory, I'm going to create an image component called images.js. And if you are going to install this extension of VS Code called ES7 React Redux GraphQL React Native Snippet, all these things in a one extension, then you will be able to create the class-based component by typing RCC, and then it will create the markup. Then I just need to use this image inside this images component, and then instead of that image, now I'm going to call images the component we have, and because of that extension it is going to auto import. So you can see it is auto imported here. Nice. So since we have this statement that when we are showing, this component is going to show, otherwise there is no this images component. So what we can do, instead of checking this component will unmount inside app, we can learn about this inside this component images component. Now we have this, and I can say images component unmounted. This is only for the unmounted. Let's try this one, and once again refresh all the pages. So first we have a constructor, then app render, then mounted, then app rendered. When I say toggle image, app re-renders because there is something changed inside the state of app, so that's why render method is calling once again. But as soon as I close this, you can see images component unmounted. This is very nice thing, because whenever we destroy any component, then we can use this component will unmount lifecycle to do something. And what we can do actually, suppose we are having a component did mount, and here we are setting interval. So let's say const interval is equal to set interval, or set interval actually, set interval, and every second I'm going to log what I can log. I can log just one, or I can log hello. Every second I'm logging it. So now let's try this. Once I start, or let's do one more thing, I'm going to give a log for images component mounted, and like this. So click app re-rendered, images component mounted, but you can see we have this interval which is running, and every second it is logging hello, and that's why we have increase in the number. What if I unmount this? You can see we have unmounted that images component, but still our set interval is working. And this is actually a memory leak in React. So suppose you have 10-20 set intervals and you have not cleared that interval, so that interval is running forever, and that's a bad practice. So whenever this component actually unmounts, then I need to say clear interval, and interval name is actually the interval we have created in the mount component did mount. So let's try this, and it says okay. So what we can do, actually we can say actually we need to create a state. So we need to create a constructor. We have a prop, then super props, and then this dot state is equal to interval, and which is initially empty, and then we can say that this dot state or set state, and setting state for interval, and every second the value is coming from here like this. So when component did mount, we are setting the state of the interval, and then we can simply clear the interval because this is actually this dot state dot interval. So clearing the interval from the state we have. Let's try once again. Click, and yeah, hello is logging. Then you can see it is increasing. I say unmount, and there is no hello now. This means we have easily removed that set interval or cleared that set interval, and that is the actual use of component will unmount. So whenever you are doing these kind of things, you need to clear, and that way you can make your React application more efficient. So this is the component will unmount.